Hi, Sweet Pea.
Hello, hello, jingle bells, jingle bells. No, still not the time of the year.
Not until the 1st of December, you know that you're banned.
I know, it is banned in our household, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm all for putting Christmas decorations up, the tree comes out, everything, 1st of December. The songs come on, especially the Pogues New York.
Yes! And I do river dance to it.
You do, but not before, okay?
No,
so let's just clear that from your head.
It's so hard, though. Anyway.
How's everything, Sweet Pea?
Well, 3 weeks away from the exams. The exams.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Revision going all right?
Let's just say it's revisioning. It's happening. But there are times when I think, I have this in the bag, people.
Yeah.
You're going to see me walk through those doors. I'm going to go, pow, pow, pow. I'm going to destroy this exam. And then there are times I'm never going to get through this, am I?
Oh.
I don't know if that's just hormones.
Well, we did talk yesterday and you were having one of those lows, weren't you? You just thought you were a failure at all things.
It's awful.
But better today.
Yeah, better today.
Good. How are your houseplants doing?
I mean, apart from that guy.
Sweet Pea's currently pointing to the very dead ivy that I gave her. It was alive when I gave it to her.
Of course. And then you give it, and then it just almost died immediately in my hands. But every other houseplant, absolutely fabulous. It's looking great.
The Oxalis behind you on the kitchen counter is looking great.
It's very much in its autumn form, isn't it? It's actually turning more yellow, and that is allowed. It's allowed to turn yellow. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind
as
of
long
like
as it's allowed.
I'm pretty sure. Hopefully. Oh, no. I am looking after it. Anyways, they're looking fine. And I did do some huge batch cooking this weekend.
Yes.
Which my poor tiny kitchenette could not take. The poor thing.
No.
It was like, geez Louise, you're cooking for a family of 6 here.
Good idea though, the batch cooking. And then stick it all in the freezer. A lot cheaper to do it all like that, isn't it?
It's so much cheaper. I did a huge tray bake of veg for the week for supper with kind of chickpeas in there and mozzarella melted on top.
Oh,
so
right.
That was kind of like the nice thing in the bake.
The other stuff's nice though.
Oh, the other stuff's nice, but the mozzarella makes you feel like you're having something slightly naughty, but it's not too bad.
Not too naughty. Yeah.
And then I have done my signature egg, spinach, sweet pepper, and cheddar cheese muffins. I've done those.
Delicious. And those are your breakfasts.
Those are my breakfasts.
I really approve of that breakfast. It's a nice protein-rich brekkie, gets you started for the day. Very good decision.
But I do want to say, I was quite sad because I went to my early 8:30, went to the shops on Sunday, and I went there ready to see all the old people talking about politicians and what they thought of them. And I walked over, they want to be seen.
Oh, Sweet Pea, where are your old friends?
Sad. I have no idea. I don't know if they do their shop every other week.
Right.
But they were not there. They were nowhere to be seen. And there were these other guys. And I was like, this is not the place for you. I'm meant to be with my oldies. You guys, I don't know who you guys are. Anyway, so I just steamed on through. I was like, no, I'm going to get ahead of you guys. All of you, get out of my way. Did the shop in 15 minutes, which is great. Record timing.
Very speedy. Well, I don't have a lot to report on in terms of the garden, really. We had a frost, and I'm afraid to say, Sweet Pea, your cosmos is no more. I did flower press one, so you'll have that to look forward to. But otherwise,
I'll put that in resin.
That'll go in resin. But and in your flower press, there was an old daffodil. How old would that have been?
That would be from ages ago. I think that was from a previous house.
Oh my gosh.
Previous home.
Well, it was brown.
Of course
Wasn't particularly attractive.
The poor thing was like, I've been in here for centuries.
So got rid of that. But anyway, the cosmos has gone in. The plant itself, I did wrap it, and the fleece blew off in the wind. It looked like a very ghostly figure just from the places where I tied the string. So it looked like there was a neck and a waist.
Oh, 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 brilliant! You've created Frosty the Snowman, but it's not Christmas.
It did. It looked so ghostly. I could see it from the road, and it looked quite scary.
How funny!
But the wind blew off the fleece one night, but we then didn't end up having a frost, and then it stayed on when we did have a real massive frost. And unfortunately, your cosmos is looking soggy.
Oh no!
And when it just goes dark and soggy and floppy, and so I tried. But Sweet Pea, there's 3 more chilies on the chili plant. That's after I harvested the other ones, and they survived the frost. They look really healthy.
Okay, what is going on with the chili plant?
I don't know. So there are 3 more chilies to come in. I ate one of the other ones in my veg mix.
How was it?
Oh, it was lovely. Gave a really nice tang to it all.
Oh, lovely.
So impressive work on the chilies, Sweet Pea.
Oh, that's fantastic, because we've never had success with chilies, and this has
been a good year.
Nailed it this year. Oh, that's brilliant.
And then otherwise in the garden, the cyclamen still looking very pretty under the tree. Lots of aubrietia flowers coming out now. Lots of purple aubrietia around the place.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. That's nice.
The evening primrose in the veg garden still looking good. It flowers in the morning for some reason. And then the calendula winter sun by the pond is looking just beautiful. It looks completely untouched by anything. It's not fussed by frost or heat. Anything.
Antifreeze, anti-heat.
It's a brilliant plant. I can really recommend Calendula Winter Sun. In fact, we were talking to Tanya Anderson about it, weren't we? Because she likes Calendula for some of her products. This is on our latest chit chat. But she hadn't heard of the Winter Sun one, so that's a good one for her to have to get some more all year round.
Exactly.
Flowers.
Like all year round. It is there.
Yeah.
It is
it's just
in
amazing.
your face.
Yeah, that's
lovely.
One of the hardest working plants I think I've ever had in terms of flowers.
Yeah. Absolutely, completely and utterly.
Well, Sweet Pea, housekeeping from last week.
Oh, yes. What do we have?
I just have a couple of things. One is, we have been talking about AI and how hard it is to identify which videos are AI online. And so you just don't know what you're dealing with. And then sometimes you can click on 3 dots and it tells you that it's AI generated.
Oh, yeah.
Other times it doesn't. Well, there is an account called Show Tools AI. And this guy basically is deciphering all these videos that are out online. So that possum one that I told you about was actually one that he was having a look at. And he explains how you can identify AI, how you can look at the fur on an animal in the video, for example, or you can see anomalies in things like skirting boards or doorways or handles of doors, or those sort of background details that are in the video that aren't the sort of primary thing that you're looking at, but you can see, that just doesn't work. So he's a great account if anyone is struggling like we have been with what's AI and what's not. Have a look at Show Tools AI, and he gives some really good, quite a bit of tech spiel at times to explain what you're looking for. He goes into real detail, so definitely worth having a look at.
Oh, fabulous.
Now, also from last week, we had a wonderful chit-chat with the lovely Tanya Anderson from Lovely Greens. And we talked at length about the New Zealand flatworm, which she is saying is a real problem on the Isle of Man. It's also a problem in some pockets of the UK as well. And I was wondering about whether kiwis or kakapos preyed on them, or, if they had any natural predators in New Zealand. And we had an email through from somebody called Russell. And this is great because he's actually written from New Zealand.
Oh my gosh, this is
I'll
brilliant.
read it to you, Supi. So, kia ora. My wife and I have been listening to your podcast for a while from here in Rangiora, not far from Christchurch, New Zealand. And I was happy to hear you talking about our neck of the woods, even if it wasn't particularly favourably.
Sorry.
I love New Zealand, though, so nothing against New Zealand. Beautiful, beautiful place. During your latest episode of A Good Old Chit Chat with Tanya Anderson, you discussed the New Zealand flatworm, and I wanted to give some insight from our perspective. Whilst we do have the flatworm, it isn't in abundance as it's well integrated with our ecosystem. Our blackbird eats them, and we have beetles that you probably don't have in the UK, which also prey on them. On the flip side, the flatworm eats the slugs, which eat our plants, so we leave them to it. Hope that helps shine some light from the Southern Hemisphere, and thanks for including us. All the best, Russell. So
thank you, Russell.
Gives a bit of an idea of what's going on over there.
Oh,
I should just mention, because I know Tanya will mention it, and probably lots of Manx people will be swivelling and whistling because the Isle of Man isn't part of the UK. But other than that, oh no, wait, that was rats. You can't say rats to somebody from the Isle of Man.
No, you cannot say that whatsoever.
Whistle and spin.
I didn't know that. Yeah, the whistle and spin. I really like that from Russell, actually. It's lovely hearing things from people and just learning more, because
absolutely,
I have no idea what's going on over in New Zealand, and I'm sure the fauna and flora is absolutely extraordinary. I haven't been. I really want to go there.
It is a beautiful place. It really is. Definitely worth a visit one day, Sweet Pea. That's a big trip to save up for.
Yeah. So do send in any emails with
for sure.
any facts or things that you find interesting about where you are, or just something you found out, because I love to fill my brain with knowledge. It's really cool.
Reading somewhere, or was I listening to a podcast, and they said the best way they got audience interaction, so people actually writing in, was by on purpose putting out false information, because then people want to write in and correct you.
I can't. The thing is, I could not do that, because if I make a mistake, it's because I've literally made a mistake. I don't think I would be able to do something wrong, because it just would jar. I would literally be in my bed at 2 o'clock in the morning going, "You've said something wrong."
Well, just rest assured, we aren't putting out false information on purpose. No. But if there is anything that we say that doesn't make sense or is incorrect, then please do let us know. Wrong. But otherwise, we're trying to not do that.
No, we're trying to put out information so that you're learning and just having a great time listening.
Now, Sweet Pea, I also have a guest update. This is the lovely Delia from Hone Hill Dreaming.
Oh, I love Delia so much. She's such a nice person.
Do you remember when we chatted with her? She was quite emotional about her dog Milo, who had sadly passed away.
Oh my gosh, so sad.
Gorgeous greyhound. Yeah. And we had quite a bit. I don't know if it was recorded. It might have been after, and we were chatting quite a bit about rescue dogs, because Hobbs is a rescue dog, and how much she was missing Milo. Well, Sweet Pea, she has another rescue. A 5-month-old greyhound pup called Kenny. And Kenny is gorgeous. I will show you photos. Oh my goodness me, he is the most gorgeous looking little greyhound. He just looks so happy. And apparently Delia says on her Instagram that he's just slotted in perfectly, and it's already only a week in to having him.
Lovely.
So, congratulations to you, Delia, and family, and welcome, Kenny. Lovely to see you in such a happy home.
Oh my gosh, so sweet. I so want to see photos now.
Yeah, oh my gosh, he's a sweetheart. Right.
Gorgeous.
And then in some other gardening news, so do you remember I read a piece from an article to you about Carol Klein, about how one of her real things that she really detests in a garden is blue pots.
Blue pots, yeah. Yeah.
Well, can you guess what feature in gardens Adam Frost really detests? And I'll give you 5 guesses, and if you get it right, I'll give you £100.
Oh.
Your little face.
You have just made this a game to be played.
So, 5 things. Think carefully. What sort of things would Adam Frost hate in a garden?
What would he hate in a garden? Oh no, I really could do with £100 right now. I'm broke. That's Cinderella. What could he? Lampshades? No, not lampshades. The lanterns.
Lanterns. Okay, that makes more sense than lampshades. Just random lampshades. Lanterns. No.
Does he not like pebbles?
Good guess, but no.
Oh my god. I really could do with £100. Can you see that I'm stressing now? Okay. Are we talking objects?
Yes.
Okay, we're talking objects, and we're not talking plants. Okay.
No.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Okay. I mean, an obvious one would be sculptures.
Sculptures, no. That's a bit warmer, if that helps.
Yeah, it's a bit varied when you talk about sculptures.
Two more.
In a garden. Is it something that you kind of usually have in a garden?
Well, I don't know what that means because...
Gnomes. Garden gnomes.
It's not garden gnomes.
Oh,
but that was a good guess. It was a good guess.
Oh, I got one more. So it's not a usual thing that you'd get in the garden. Am I allowed any clues?
All right, I'll give you a clue. So no, I wouldn't say it was a usual thing that one would put in the garden, but apparently he's seen enough of them for it to be an issue for him. And he thinks they take up too much space and he just doesn't like them.
Space. And when I said sculptures, you said I'm getting warmer.
So think of something you would play with in a garden.
Oh, I don't want to say it. Oh, I feel like this is the kind of thing, when someone's on a TV show and you're just screaming through the TV at them. It's an egg. It's an egg. I don't know, or something like that. And they're just
I don't think anyone would be screaming this because it is really obscure.
It's really okay. Then it's not that. Then
what were you going to say?
This wasn't. You can't count this, but I was going to say a children's kind of swing, slide, trampoline.
I mean, you're covering a lot of bases here, but I'll tell you, no, it's not a trampoline either.
I just got in a load of guesses. Okay, I need to make my mind up. It's
a game
obscure.
that adults would play as well.
Oh. Is it those... Okay, this is my guess. Is it those huge chess sets that you find in gardens? Like huge, where it's in the ground and you've got huge pieces.
Yes.
That you move around.
Exactly what you mean.
Is it that?
You are right.
Oh my god! Oh, I'm no longer broke. This is brilliant. Oh my god! I'm so happy about this because I find them awful as well. Oh, this is the best day ever. This has made my day. This has absolutely made my day.
Not in a million years did I think you would get that. I truly, honestly thought this is a safe bet. Do you know, I was even going to say £1,000 because I thought that you're never going to get it because it's such an obscure thing for him to hate in gardens. I read this article and I just thought of all the things, like how many homes across the country have giant chess sets. Are you actually serious that you just got that? I cannot believe it.
Do you want to know why I got that? Because I saw it in a film recently. I saw it in some... I think, was it My Mum, Your Dad, actually? With the super extravagant house and how they have like tennis courts and everything. Yes, it was that. They have a huge chess set. And I've always thought, gosh, it's pretty ugly. And how do you clean those things and everything? Yeah. And I just thought it's a bit ridiculous to have a giant chess set. If you have one, I'm not dissing you.
That is so funny. I can't believe you got that. Gosh. I didn't think you were ever going to get that. Absolutely gutted.
Oh, that has made my day.
No, I'm very happy and I'll stand by my word. Well done, sweet pea.
You don't have to.
It is giant chess sets. I can't believe that's brilliant. All the things to think of. Because, sure, like in great big estates like that, I can see it happening. But I can't imagine somebody in a mid-terrace townhouse is going to have a giant chess set out the back of their garden, take up the whole garden.
I mean, that would be funny.
And
really
also, I don't think they're that bad. If you've got it in a big estate like that, I think they're really fun. Like, I love chess. And
yeah, I suppose in a really big estate, I would probably, I would have to create a themed garden around it, like an Alice in Wonderland garden around it.
Well, anyway, that's what it is.
Wow.
He said they're plastic, they take up too much space, you're putting paving on the ground, you name it. If I said there was one thing in the garden that I hated, I can't stand them.
Oh my gosh.
He said if you want to play chess in the garden, pick a board up and take it outside.
I mean, that's
reasonable, isn't it? Right, Sweet Pea, we must move on.
Yes.
No Way News.
Yes, No Way News.
So my first story that I found this week is about a new plant genus that has been discovered. So the first new plant genus in a national park since 1976 has been discovered this year in the Big Bend National Park in Texas.
Oh.
And it's been named the woolly devil. And for good reason. It is the cutest little plant you've ever seen, Sweet Pea. You will love it. I'll show you a photo afterwards. And I'll put a photo actually on our website.
Yes.
If you go to the recaps page, click on the link for this episode, it'll take you to a dedicated page to the episode with all the links to everything we're talking about here.
Loads of links.
Deb Manley was exploring a remote area of Big Bend National Park when she spotted something unusual on the ground. Tiny, fuzzy, flowering plants were sprouting up from between the desert rocks. They named it Avicula biradiata, if I've said that right, in a new paper published earlier this year in the journal Phytokeys. And Avicula biradiata is not only a new species, it's so distinct from other plants that researchers have had to classify it as a brand new genus within the daisy Forasteraceae family.
That's
and
incredible.
The plant's Latin name comes from its appearance. So Avicula means tiny sheep. Which is a nod to the desert bighorn sheep that live in the park. But also, it's very fuzzy. It's like, lamb's ears.
Yes.
Lovely. The leaves, that beautiful fuzz on them, don't they? So it's that similar woolliness, but it looks much more of a succulent. And it's very short and squat to the ground with these fuzzy leaves that come out. And then it has these two thin petals that come out of it. And so that's the second part of the name, biradiata. But they've called it woolly devil because those two sort of red petals, they're very thin, come out. They look like horns, little horns.
Oh my gosh,
so they've called it the woolly devil. It's a really sweet plant. There's a slightly sad ending to the article, which says that they've only found them in 3 kind of pockets around this national park. And they're concerned that it's one of those plants that has managed to adapt and evolve to survive, but now with climate change, it may be sort of going extinct before it's really established. So, but a beautiful little plant and so interesting seeing how different it is from anything else you might have seen.
Oh, I'm going to look that up afterwards. I love that.
Well, have a look on the website, Sweet Pea. I'll put it all there.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Now, another interesting story from China. Researchers in China have developed a robot that identifies different plant species at various stages of growth by touching their leaves with an electrode. So the robot can measure properties such as surface texture and water content that can't be determined by sight alone, visual sort of approaches. And it has an average accuracy of 97.7%.
That is pretty amazing.
It's impressive, isn't it? Is it one of those scary stories, though, because it's, again, where machines, computers are taking over other people's jobs and skills. But eventually, they're saying that large-scale farmers and agricultural researchers could use the robot to monitor the health and growth of crops and to make tailored decisions about how much water and fertilizer to give their plants and how to approach pest control and all those sorts of things. So it could have a use on a big scale, but interesting.
It's an interesting one, but of course it comes with the not so great stuff.
Yeah, it's always about money, isn't it?
Always.
Now, this is a nice story. You'll like this. Crows are being recruited to pick up discarded cigarette butts from the streets and squares of a Swedish city as part of a cost-cutting drive. Again, it's about money.
Brilliant. Cost-cutting.
I love this story, though.
Cool.
It is a few years old. This is from 2022. But the wild birds carry out the task as they receive a little food for every butt that they deposit in this bespoke machine designed by a startup company in a place called Södertälje near Stockholm.
I hope you said that correctly.
So these are wild birds who are taking part on a voluntary basis, so they're not sort of cornering a whole load of crows and putting them to work.
No.
The Keep Sweden Tidy Foundation says that more than 1 billion cigarette butts are left on Sweden's streets each year, which is around 62% of all the litter.
Wow.
Makes you think, doesn't it? We'd never thought it would be that high. And Södertälje spends 20 million Swedish krona, which is 1.6 million pounds, on street cleaning each year. So this new technique could save at least 75% of costs involved with picking up cigarette butts in the city.
I mean, that would be amazing. Hopefully the crows aren't smoking a little bit as they drop it off there, like
pulling out a Zippo lighter and
like
I don't think that's happening. Movies. I know what you mean, though. They're going to be getting nicotine. They are
going to be getting a bit,
surely.
Yeah,
but anyway, if they're happy, cool. Sweden's happy.
Yeah,
no more butts on the streets.
No more butts on the streets.
I think that's a happy story.
I think so. I think that's lovely.
So, Sweet Pea, tell me your plant fun fact for this week.
My plant fun fact, once again, is on fungus.
You know I love fungus.
A bit of fungus, I do. This one is on ghost fungus. I don't know if anyone has heard of this before, but I certainly hadn't. And it looks fairly similar to an oyster mushroom. I mean, it grows off kind of dead wood and trees and stuff like that. And the kind of sources, they can get to about 30 centimetres in diameter. They can get fairly big, quite amazing.
Yeah. That's very big.
And they've got kind of a gilled underbit and a kind of creamy flat top, but with then bits of orange, purple and blue. Obviously do not eat them.
No.
And they are found primarily in southern Australia and Tasmania, and then sometimes in India. But the thing that they do, which is quite incredible and isn't entirely understood why they do it. Some say it's just metabolism, others say that it's for attracting insects, is that they are bioluminescent. And they glow bright green in the dark.
Wow.
It's quite astonishing. And so you've got like these lanterns glowing.
Amazing.
And it's apparently because of this compound, which is called luciferins. And then there's an enzyme, which is luciferase. And that oxidizes and catalyzes all these chemical reactions, which create this bioluminescence. And apparently it is fairly similar to what fireflies do create their light. So it's fairly similar between both of them.
How amazing. Can you imagine walking through a woodland at night and having that lighting up?
How
lighting
cool
your
would
way.
That be?
Yes. And then if there were fireflies as well.
Now that's where they get the ideas for enchanted forests. Because we have them. And I thought
this planet's beautiful, isn't it? Oh, thanks for that, Sweet Pea. I'm going to have a look at that in a bit more detail.
Do. Yeah. What is your animal fun fact?
Well, yes, I have a quick animal fun fact. This is a story about Frankie the flamingo.
The flamingos.
A French amateur wildlife photographer says he will continue to monitor the flamingo, which escaped from a wildlife sanctuary in Cornwall and made its way to northern France. So Frankie is the Caribbean flamingo, and he escaped from a wildlife sanctuary called Paradise Park in Hale in Cornwall only a couple of weeks ago. And despite her feathers being clipped on one wing to prevent her from reaching full flight, she fled. She fled the wildlife park, flapped her way all the way to northern France, and has just settled down there. And it was eventually spotted in Goulven Bay in northern France. And the wildlife photographer who likes going to this particular spot, because there are lots of wild birds there, he was Michael Belliot. He lives near Brest and is a nature guide there. And he was taking all these photos and then looked on his camera and realised he had snapped a flamingo, which he just wasn't used to seeing.
Can you imagine the poor guy is like, oh my God, I don't know what this is a flamingo doing in the northern France.
And he told his photographer friends and they said, no, you must be mistaken. So then he sent them the photos and they said it's AI. So poor old Michael. But anyway, then he heard the story about this escapee from Cornwall and that's where it set up home. Now, the thing is, they can't go and return the flamingo back to Cornwall because of the concerns about avian flu.
Oh my gosh, of course.
So the flamingo is going to have to stay there. That's where it's now going to live out its days. And
well, it obviously wants to be there. It's like, I want to be French. Come on, people.
Yeah. Well, it seems very happy there, and it's integrating with the other birds. And so that's where Frankie is now going to live. He's a Cornwall escapee living in northern France.
Sweet.
Right, Sweet Pea, let's have a look at this, the final Gardener's World 2025 before we hit the winter specials. So this is Gardener's World 2025, episode 32, recap.
Off we go.
Monty's in the jewel garden and he's marvelling at how loads is still flowering. He obviously hasn't had a frost yet.
No, he hasn't, but he's deadheading because he just wants to get those last flowers out.
Yep.
And make them look beautiful. So things like Tiphonias, Dahlias, Salvias.
Yep.
And then he was going over to be planting up some of the big pots because he has some in the jewel garden, some in the cottage garden. And there were petunias, gingers and pelargoniums in the jewel garden and sweet peas in the cottage gardens. And now he's wanting to put in tulips and some beautiful, nice kind of cottage garden ones, obviously layered because they're in the huge pots.
Yep.
So they're like nice and packed out. And I think the ones he talked were Apricot Impression, Mistress and Monton.
That's it, yeah.
With then a Primrose Bedder wallflower on top.
Yeah, which he had dug up earlier. And then he also adds some rose prunings. I love this top tip, which is to deter the pesky squirrels. We've had that problem before, who keep digging up his bulbs.
Absolutely.
And then we're with Carol Klein, who last month went to visit an autumnal garden, Waterperry Gardens in Oxfordshire.
Yes. Does it ring a bell?
Well, it should do, because we have, of course, visited there a few times. We had this discussion with Elliot Neep, didn't we? Because he's in Oxfordshire and we were talking about Waterperry Gardens, because they used to have art in action at Waterperry Gardens.
Oh, love that.
Which I went to even as a child myself, decades ago.
It's quite funny.
And used to absolutely love it. They had everything and anything arty, and you basically went and watched the artist in action, and you could even join in if you wanted to see anything from glass blowing to basket weaving to sculptures to felting. Everything was done. And
it was amazing.
We went there, didn't we? We went with some friends, and you and Ollie did a felting class, whilst Ollie's mum and I went off to these beautiful borders, and we had a good mooch round. They really are spectacular, really deep, beautiful borders.
Yeah, they look amazing. Slightly mounded as well. Or at least the asters must have been like so tall because Carol was kind of reaching up to these asters, these Michaelmas daisies.
Amazing, weren't they? And that's mostly what we focused on in this section. Did you get the names of some of those asters?
Absolutely. I mean, they do look amazing at this time of year, of course. So there were two main types. There's the Novae Anglii and the Novae Belgii, to do with New England, New Belgium. And some of the Novae Anglii, there was an Anderken and Alma Potschke, which was this beautiful bright pink. I love this one, because usually I've seen the kind of lilacs and the pale pinks, which are the kind of Novae Belgii. And they're nice, but they haven't given me that kind of pizzazz that I've kind of needed at this time of year. And so I loved that dark pink one. And then the Novae Belgii one that she was looking at was Fair Lady, and that was, of course, a lilac-y colour. But great thing is that it has no mildew on it. Yeah. So it's fab against any pests or diseases.
And we also got to see how they change colour. So from
exactly, when pollinated.
Pre-pollination and post-pollination, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. How they turn a kind of browny colour, and so the insect's just like, no way.
Yeah. And then we meet Pat Havers, who took over as head gardener at Waterperry Gardens 13 years ago. And she talks about how she deals with the asters.
Yes, exactly. How she cuts them completely back all the way down to the ground. How they have to go right down the border, which seems like quite a job. Can you imagine being at one end and just like, oh gosh, I've got
all
to
of
go
that ahead of you.
It'll be like, oof.
And they do it after the first frost.
Yeah.
And then we also see a border with lots of grasses in, don't we? A grass border, which looked spectacular.
It's quite amazing.
That, Pat was explaining how you cut it down at the end of February.
But it's quite a bit easier to maintain as a border. It's just kind of there. It's like, oof.
Get the lawnmower out.
Yeah, exactly. You can get the lawnmower out. You can either
I don't think set fire
to. No, but you can set fire to the grasses. That is a fantastic way of doing it if you do it carefully.
Right.
But there were things like Miscanthus Kleine Fontaine.
That was gorgeous.
Oh, I love that. Lovely. It was really white as well, so it looked like a kind of stardust or icing sugar.
Yeah.
And then there was Stipa Gigantii.
That was Pat's favourite, wasn't it?
Yeah. There was also a Solidago Golden Fleece in
Wasn't that gorgeous?
area. Really bright.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
That was stunning.
And a Crab Apple Golden Hornet.
Yeah.
And then round the corner was a Clematis Tangutica Bill Mackenzie. And that was another golden. There were lots of these golden kind of colours coming out at this time of year.
That was a very pretty yellow clematis, wasn't it?
I know. I hadn't seen it. And I loved how thick she talked about those sepals. I think they were sepals.
Right.
They were just so thick and you could see that they weren't like all kind of wafty. It was there. It was chunky. And I loved that.
And it was discovered by Valerie Finnis, who was a student and teacher at Waterperry Gardens. So quite unique clematis there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then there was a final aster at the end. Did you get the name of that one? Aster Little Carlo, which was Carol's all-time fave, the purple one.
Oh, gosh, I missed that one.
Well, Waterperry Gardens is near Wheatley in Oxfordshire, and it's 20 acres in total. And it is open all year round, apart from between Christmas and New Year. So you can go and visit those borders at any time.
Wow.
£9 for adults at this time of year. And I can really recommend it. It's got quite a lot of variety in those 20 acres. It's definitely a nice morning or afternoon out to have a good look around.
Absolutely.
Monty's with a sack truck, and apparently they struggle with asters at Longmeadow, but he doesn't say why. I don't know what the problem is that he has.
I think it's
soil.
His soil we know is really claggy.
Yeah.
So it's probably to do with the drainage, because we have the same soil. We have pretty claggy soil, but we're on a hill. So it's all that's why we can have asters, I think.
We've got a variety of soils, really, though.
It's
not all claggy, is it? We do keep meaning to put asters in. Anyway, the reason for the sack truck is that Monty's bringing his dahlias in, and he explains that if they're in the ground, if they're in clay, then whip them out, which is what he has, because they don't like to stand in the wet. But if you're in free draining, then they should survive in the ground. Just mulch them loads. That's
exactly,
what
which
we
is what you do.
Yeah,
we just put like a nice thing of kind of strawy, mulchy stuff on top, and they love it.
Anything, even to be honest, the dahlia cuttings, all the leaves and shoots and stems and everything, I just lay those on top.
Oh yeah, that's another great way of doing it. Yeah. And he said that there was still some dahlias like David Howard that were going, but the ones that had kind of finished, he was bringing in, such as the one that he had on the sack truck. And then it's the whole thing of taking it out of the pot with that kind of, it looks like a bread knife, a huge bread knife that he puts around the sides, then tips it out, gets rid of the soil, washes it, dries it, places it upside down in a kind of crate thing. And then you can store them in newspaper, sawdust, on a windowsill, in a cellar,
anything that absorbs moisture, really. And that you say about the bread knife, that's real ASMR for me. I really like it when he's doing that. There's something about the noise. It's like when he's sawing through his agapanthus roots. I just love that sound. It does something for me.
So satisfying, isn't it?
But the noise I'm less keen on is that outdoor tap of Monty's that's still not fixed. This time last year he was washing off mud, and that thing was making all sorts of noise. It needs a good looking at, Monty.
It does.
But then we go to Moffat in southwest of Scotland.
Yeah.
And this is Janet McGowan's place, Craigieburn Gardens and Nursery in Dumfriesshire.
Oh my gosh.
And she came there in 1983 when it was just a car park and just general wilderness. And she explains how she had grown up in the West Midlands, where she knew how to grow all those sort of English cottage garden plants. And then she came here with lots of rainfall, a totally different climate. And she found that the Mecanopsis were really thriving in this particular area. And that was her inspiration to consider having a very sort of Himalayan type garden.
Yeah,
so
alpine.
She did what any normal person would do. She went off trekking the Himalayas. Off to Nepal she went.
Because that's easy peasy.
That's just what you do. She also thought she'd go trekking in the monsoon season.
Absolutely.
Which, of course,
best
was challenging. But it sounds like she was well looked after, because there was a Sherpa there called Dawa who suggested she might be needing some help. So he kept a good eye on her. And they built up enough of a bond for him to come back to Scotland in 1997, and he's been helping Janet with Craigieburn ever since.
And it's quite amazing. They've got this lovely kind of valley-shaped area.
Beautiful.
Wasn't it gorgeous?
Just beautiful.
I loved it. And this lovely kind of river stream pouring down there, and so you could really work with this idea. It looked practically exactly like the photos of her when she was trekking.
Mini Himalayas. And with sort of steps cut into a mini mountainside.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of hopping over the water, and then plants just kind of cascading in.
It looked like almost like an adventure playground, like somewhere you could really immerse yourself in and hide away in, and lots of nooks and crannies. It's right up my street.
I really, really want to go there, because I do love that type of planting. There's something so natural and so peaceful about it. It looks so peaceful and soothing almost.
Yeah.
So obviously there were things like Mecanopsis in there, which are gorgeous. I so want to be able to grow those, but you just can't.
That's not going to happen here. They don't look real, do they?
They do not look real.
So blue, like true blue.
A proper blue, not a purple blue. Yeah. That's not a blue, it's purple. These are blue. And on, I think, quite near the stream was this giant Himalayan lily, which has the most incredible huge white flowers. Loved that one.
Which Dawa said gets to 17 foot tall.
I know. I mean, when you look at them online, it's like, sheesh, those are tall.
Shish kebabs.
Shish kebabs. Then they had beautiful tree-like rhododendron. They also
that
had
was stunning. Well, wait, on that, did you see the photo that they also showed off the Himalayas, and just the mountain-sized pink just lit up with pink because of all the rhododendron there?
Oh,
stunning!
My gosh, how cool is that?
It does make me want to go trekking in the Himalayas, Sweet Pea. We should do that one day.
Do that. I know that I'm definitely going to go travelling, proper travelling, explore, see the world.
Sounds a
good
idea.
It's a beautiful planet that we have.
You must do that.
I think so. And definitely the Himalayas is on
for sure.
the checklist.
Well, I'll join you on that one, because I haven't been to the Himalayas.
Whether I'm 20 or I'm 96, I am going to the Himalayas.
Oh, right. If you're 96, I probably won't be joining you. If you're 20, I can probably do that.
You'll be fine. Anyways, and there was also a pahia, which is a Himalayan cherry. Gorgeous. And he was cutting that back because he wanted it to create a kind of umbrella, because otherwise it can just kind of shoot up and all the leaves are at the very top. There's no point having that.
And he said in Nepal they'll use the branches for animal feed in the winter.
Yes.
And then I found this segment, as I was really getting into it and learning about all these interesting plants, it came to quite an abrupt end.
It stopped dead, didn't it? Yes.
Just as they were digging a bit deeper, I think it just ended with Janet saying, and we've become best friends or something like that.
Yes. I want to know more.
That was the end. I really would love to talk to Janet. I don't know how accessible she is, but I'll certainly give it a good go, because wouldn't you love to hear about the trekking that she did? I want to understand more about how she organised that, who she went with, what problems she did have in monsoon season, any lessons learnt for us when we want to go, and just about bringing plants back and everything. So much I want to know. So
I really want to know all this stuff. She sounds like she would have so many stories to tell.
So many stories. Well, there doesn't seem to be much of an associated website as such for Craigieburn Gardens, but there's a Facebook page which is updated from time to time. And they have a nursery there where you can buy the unusual plants that you see in the gardens.
Oh, cool.
And I found an interesting article about Janet and her trekking. So I'll put a link to that on our webpage as well.
Fab.
Monty's looking at his fallen leaves. He says if you have them covering your borders, leave them. They improve the soil structure and it's good insulation. Just clear them away if they're forming a soggy mush layer on your perennials.
Yes,
but otherwise, it's all good. And then he says if they're on your lawn, he recommends mowing them, as that collects them up and chops them for you.
Yes.
And so he starts mowing his lawn. Did you see? I can tell by that look on your face. You saw what lawnmower he has.
Yes. Yeah. I saw the lawnmower, and I was sitting in my armchair and I just thought, Mummy is going to be smiling all the way up to her ears. She's going to love this.
Yeah. Well, Monty has an Ego lawnmower, much like mine.
It is yours.
Monty, I feel like, are they getting a bit of surreptitious sponsorship from Ego? Because they gave the name very clearly, which normally BBC don't do. But hands off, Monts. I want sponsorship with Ego because I want all their tools. Anyway, as we always say, they have awesome tools.
They do.
And then he explains about how leaves biodegrade mainly by fungal action, not bacteria, and it's mainly bacteria that makes compost. So he has his leaf mold station, which he says if you've got the space, you can have chicken wire going around because you like to get air into it and also keep it damp. But he also explains that if you don't have the space for a big leaf mold bay like he has, you can use an ex-compost bag. So you shove all your leaves in there and then blast it with water. And he did quite a blast with his hose. He even commented on the blast. And did you see poor Ned freak out? Ned was all like, hey, I'm going out.
Ooh la 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 la, what's going on here?
That's just like what horse would do.
She always comes over whenever I'm drying my hair upside down with the hairdryer, and then she's like, "Oh, what's going on over here?" And then I just lightly blow her in the face, and sometimes she's like, "Oh my gosh, my eyeballs!" And I'm like, "Well, don't open your eyeballs that much." And she's like, "My eyeballs."
And then one other thing with that bag is make some holes in the bottom. He said leave it for 6 months, preferably a year. And then you get that lovely, soft, crumbly, sweetly smelling leaf mold, which we just love, don't we?
Ours is going to be ready soon, actually. Ours has been there for like 2 years.
But that's because it was sort of harder leaves, wasn't it?
It was.
Laurel leaves were in there. And that was it, bay leaves, those sorts of things. So they take a bit longer to break down.
They do. Yes.
Then we join Arit, who's on a new housing estate in Essex with an innovative approach to its gardens. This is called Chattowood.
Yes,
and it's a development of 86 houses in the village of Elmstead Market in Essex.
Yes. So it's that whole idea of how you've got new build houses, you then have a whole load of builders' rubble just kind of broken up, put on the ground, a very thin layer of topsoil they put on top, and then usually it's like turf that they put on top of that because it's like the easiest to maintain in their eyes. But here the whole idea was, of course, doing like Beth Chatto's beautiful gravel garden, which is all understanding which plants are perfectly right for that spot, which can really look after themselves. You water them in once when you plant them in, and then boom, they're in there.
Low maintenance, which you want for those communal areas, don't you? Exactly. And of course, there's the added bonus of Beth Chatto's garden being just around the corner.
Yeah, I know. And having volunteers coming from that garden to look after your neighbourhood.
I love this. So the developers gained permission to name the estate in her honour, so Chattowood, but with a condition that the Beth Chatto team come and get involved. And so they come 2 days a month, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they tend to, I mean, what a fantastic setup if you're in a new build development like that, to have brilliant planting and then people who know what they're doing tending to it.
Yeah,
good
but
deal.
also the fact that they don't have to come that often because the plants are just like, yeah, we're chilling. This is so easy because we're right plant, right place. Which
Exactly.
is a really good motto to have, but I don't think, including myself, don't think many people do that because sometimes you're like, oh, but I really want that plant.
Exactly, like hydrangeas. I'm always trying to force a hydrangea.
You're always trying to force hydrangea.
Although I have learnt my lesson now because it's getting expensive.
It is.
Anyway, there's a little bit of background. So in 1960, Beth Chatter and her husband Andrew transformed the poor quality farmland into a series of highly influential gardens. And Beth's granddaughter, Julia Boulton, who we see on this episode, was determined that if her name was to be adopted by the housing estate, then so would her gardening legacy. But it had to be done sustainably. So they were looking to create a planting scheme that was good for biodiversity, easy to care for, looks good, no need to be watered, all that low maintenance stuff.
Like things like goras, steepers, herbs, catmints.
Yeah. And do you remember Alex Mitchell, who came on Chit Chats? She very much replicated Beth Chatter's gravel garden.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, she did a fantastic job with that, didn't she? Although I do remember her saying there were a few problems with weeds in the gravel pathways. I think that's always going to happen.
Always.
And we meet Beth Chatter's head gardener, who's Asa Gregers-Warg, and she's been there since 2001, and she looked at all the planting and what was best from the gravel garden to put into this housing estate.
Exactly.
And we also meet a couple of the residents, Donna Cousins and Andrew Duffield. And Donna, who's been there 3 years, loves that they have the garden all pre-done and looked after. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, I would.
And she talks about how there are lots of butterflies and bees. And then Andy says how he had a house that doesn't have a front garden, so he didn't have any of that on his doorstep, but he has replicated it in his back garden. And we see a few shots of it, and he had a water feature in there as well.
I know.
Really cool.
It was beautiful. Loved it.
And this is the bit that I appreciated the most, was when they talked to ecologist Dr. Chris Gibson, who has been studying the insect numbers there over the last 3 years. And he says that statistics show that there are 10 times more insects with this type of planting than the standard approach. So the numbers speak for themselves. It's definitely
fantastic,
of great benefit, isn't it?
It would be amazing if this kind of thing could be replicated in all new builds.
It makes more sense than just about anything else I can think of. I don't understand why you wouldn't have that. I guess there's an initial cost outlay, but if you're building a housing complex like that, then include that in the costs. And I would have thought it would be a big selling point when you're trying to then sell off all those houses that you've built. It comes with this beautiful landscaping.
Exactly.
Well, I had a look at the website for that housing estate, and interestingly, they don't really talk about it. They do say, oh, there's Beth Chatter's famous garden down the road, but they don't then talk about how they are using that, and they don't show photos of it either on their website. So they're not really, seemingly not using it as a selling point currently, but I think there's just needs to be a change of attitude, isn't there, across the board. If it was just a given, then that would be only a good thing.
Yeah, completely.
Monty's talking cuttings and
root cuttings.
Yeah, and he's talking about that beautiful echinops.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, the retro one. He's taking cuttings from that. He said you can also do oriental poppies, so we can do that one. Acanthus, verbascum, things with nice kind of fleshy roots, you can do that.
Yeah.
And so he was cutting off some of the slightly thinner but still thick roots, and then some proper chunky roots. He said you don't want to cut off too many because otherwise you're going to weaken the plant.
Yeah, he says try not to take more than a third of the root of the plant.
Yeah. And then the big chunky ones, those were kind of being properly buried in the compost, nice gritty compost, of course, with maybe just the top showing, and then the other ones that were slightly thinner, he was then laying those horizontally on the top of the compost so they could then root down perpendicularly.
And whichever one you're doing, put a load of grit on top.
Of course.
As always. And then we go to Gravetye Manor in Sussex, and we meet Tom Coward.
Yes.
And I'm on the same page as Tom, because he says the cold and wet is his favourite time of year, although I'm not sure it's my favourite time of year, but he said it's the only time you can go faster than nature and catch up. That's such a good point, isn't it? It really is true. It's where there's less of that panic. Like in the summer, or certainly spring and summer,
Yes.
I am in a constant state of panic because if I don't do that job right there and then, stuff's going to grow, get out of hand, and your job's twice as hard. Whereas it's a nice time of year, isn't it? You can just take your foot off the pedal a bit. You can catch up with everything. It's a good time for that.
It is a great time. And then the thing I really, really related to is when he said how when you're looking outside, you're looking at this kind of grey, miserable day and you're like, oh my gosh, it looks cold and wet. All you want to do is snuggle up by the fire. And he said that once you're out, it's like, okay, this isn't too bad. And I know that exact feeling. I remember when we were doing the veg garden, when we were starting it, we had to do all the structural work. And
when we were building
up the fence around it and everything. And we'd chosen winter time to do it. And I remember having to get on the cold, wet clothes from the day before because they hadn't quite properly dried.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, I want to just stay on the sofa. And then once you're out, it's like, okay, what we're doing.
Well, he didn't say it's not too bad. He said it's actually quite invigorating and uplifting. And I think you would agree that's what we would find is, of course, it'd be nice to stay by the fire. But, even when you're out there, I think it just, it's so rewarding. It really is rewarding getting in amongst the dirt and building things and growing things and clearing things. You always feel better after you've done that. I don't think you've ever come in from being out in the garden and gone, oh, I feel so much worse than I did before.
Yeah. Oh, that is 100%. Of course, that's
every time.
True. Every
you feel
time,
better
without
fail. Yeah.
Yeah. That is so true. And as Calvin and Hobbes, the dad, would say, it's character building.
Yeah. He does always say that, doesn't he? Very true, Sweet Pea. I've been working hard on building your character.
Yes, it is built.
Putting you through sheer hell. Well, Tom is pruning a wisteria, and we see some photos of it from earlier in the year, and it's stunning, isn't it? A white wisteria.
Lovely walkway.
He gives it beautiful walkway. And he gives it 2 prunes, once in summer, once in winter. And in winter, you take out the long whippy growths to get tighter bunches of flowers.
Exactly. And that was Wisteria floribunda chironoda. Mm-hmm. And then he was going to I think the potting shed area where he was doing some sweet peas. And that was, he said, a friend had told him how to do it because his friend always got them right. He never got them right. So boom, tell me what you're doing, mate. And his friend apparently had these super deep plugs, would fill to about a third, then water the soil, then put the seed in, then fill to the top, but do not water again because all that moisture is coming from below. And then put it in a kind of greenhouse or polycrub or whatever you have, and put some newspaper over the top.
And if you have mice, make a little mouse-proof table to put them on. Yeah. Then we meet Helena, who looks after the veg garden and
planning.
Tom describes her as hugely organised. Doesn't he come across as such a lovely boss?
He does. He would be a great boss, just so chill.
Oh, so chill, so just lovely. I think he just comes across as a really, really nice person.
Yeah, really endearing.
He reminds me very much of Dean Charlton.
Oh my gosh, entirely.
Houghton Nursery.
Yes, very similar. But Helena was doing some cutting back. Favourite time of year, one of her favourite things to do is the pruning of the black currants and the red currants, which are 2 plants which seem the same but very different pruning styles. For the red currants, you're kind of cut back to 1 or 2 buds. The fruit is kind of off the side bits, so you're kind of creating these little nodules. Whereas the black currants, they fruit on the main stem, and you don't cut the grey wood, but cut the brown wood because you want the 1-year growth.
And I liked how Helena said the biggest mistake people make with pruning is they're not brutal enough. That makes me happy to hear.
Of course. Absolutely brilliant. And then finally, Tom went over to the blueberry patch and he was putting down a lovely mulch of pine needles to change the pH of the soil because blueberries need a certain pH.
They're more acidic, isn't it? They need the ericaceous soil, and pine needles.
Yeah, that's it.
Typically are acidic, aren't they?
Mm.
And he said you can use your old Christmas tree, of course, if you want some pine needles, if you don't have a nice forest of them.
Of course.
And then despite everything Tom said earlier about the rubbish weather, he did say at the end, sometimes you need your optimism to get you through the gloomier days. Just think of the results in the summer.
Yes.
That's very, very true, isn't it? Well, Sweet Pea, it's a small horticultural world because Tom has only 1 or 2 degrees of separation from a whole load of our chit-chat guests.
Oh,
so
cool.
He grew up on the Isle of Wight. Wayne Williams.
Oh my gosh, of course.
He's at Ventnor there. He left school at 16 and trained at RHS Whibley. Shiny Gates, of course, trained there. He spent 4 years at Pershaw College. Layla Robinson, of course, went to Pershaw College.
This is really funny.
Then 3 years at Kew on their diploma in horticulture, of course. Tom Hoblin, of course, was at Kew. And then his first job was as assistant head gardener at Sir Paul McCartney's place in Sussex. Do you know Paul McCartney from the Beatles?
Yes, sure do.
I don't have any chit-chat guests who also worked there, as far as we know. Then he went travelling, and he funded his travels by working in gardens in New Zealand and France. And then he got a call from Great Dixter to work with Fergus Garrett.
Oh my gosh.
Dean Charlton.
Yes.
And 3 years later, the job at Gravetye came up, and so he started there in 2010. So he's had a fantastic route through all these various places with his horticultural adventures.
Yeah, sounds lovely.
And if you want to see those gardens at Gravetye, you have to book a stay at the hotel because it's not open to the public. So your way of seeing it is to...
Well, that's good marketing.
I thought you were looking at me to see if we could go stay there.
Oh, there's also that as well, yes.
Monty's very proud of his sweet peas, which have grown a bit too much, and he has a tangled mess. He's going to pinch them out about halfway down above a leaf. Exactly. And he says this will guarantee a bushier plant, which means more side shoots and more flowers.
What I love to do with my sweet peas, always pinching them out.
And then we have jobs for the weekend.
Yes.
So we plant paper white daffodils, we sharpen pruning tools, and we protect our agapanthus.
None of those things we are doing.
I might sharpen some tools at some point.
Have we ever sharpened our tools?
No, which is why I might do it, because I always have so much time on my hands.
Yeah, so much time.
Right, Sweet Pea, your favourite plant from this episode?
Was the Andekan and Alma Pochka aster.
Oh, okay.
Yes, loved that aster with the beautiful pink. Gorgeous.
So that was Waterperry Gardens. Mine was also from Waterperry, and that was the Solidago?
Yeah, the
Golden
Solidago.
Fleece.
Yes. Oh, that was.
I thought that was quite
really
striking.
Beautiful.
And your top takeaway
was harvesting leaves with an Ego lawnmower. That was mine. What was yours?
Mine is the whole new builds thing. I just think we should be doing this as a given. It should absolutely be part of the blueprint for a new build. Any new build, anywhere in the country.
It's a no-brainer, and I really feel like in the long term it will be saving huge amounts of money.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, Sweet Pea, next week, this will be the first of the winter specials, and it is next week.
We have 4 of them, don't we?
We have 4 of them, all through December. Do you want to hear what next week has in store?
Yes, please.
Francis Tophill returns to Damson Farm near Bath for the first of 4 winter special programmes, aiming to inspire people to get out in the garden during the coldest months and look forward to warmer days ahead. She gets stuck into a multitude of jobs, mulching veg beds, taming a Japanese wineberry, and taking holly cuttings, and has a go at making some damson gin.
Ooh.
Adverley Richmond explores an English country garden designed by an American whose exquisite romantic planting was tinged with high society scandal. Nick Bailey gets more than he bargained for in a contemporary garden that's being cleverly designed to blend seamlessly with its medieval ruins. And in Derby, Sue Kent shares her passion for hydrangeas and learns how to get the best out of them. There's an Australian gardener who 30 years ago moved to the other side of the world just so she could grow the plants she had fallen in love with, plus a grower in Cornwall who has become captivated by the evergreen hues of houseplants. There's a lot on next week, isn't there?
Wow. I mean, that is ram-packed.
It is.
We're going to have a lot of fun with that.
We are. I'm glad we have these winter specials because it's nice to know what to do in the downtime, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, if you want to get in touch, here's how.
If you have any questions, feedback or comments, you can get in touch with us on our contact page at notjustagarden.co.uk or via our email, which is notjustagarden@outlook.com, or you can even find us on Facebook or Instagram and come visit us there and hit the follow button. And if you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world if you could post a 5-star review. It really helps our podcast climb up the pile. If you didn't enjoy it, bigger polls from us, and please don't. For more Sweet Pea and Bear content, including videos, blogs, guest garden lists, early access to episodes, podcast outtakes, which are great, and community chats, come join us on our Patreon. You can find a link on our website.
Okay, Sweetie Pie, only a few more days till I see you in the flesh. You just hang on in there. It's not long.
I will be back for my 2 official weeks of revision that we have off.
Yeah.
So that I can be at home with my study buddy, which is Hobbs. Hobbs is the best study buddy in the world. She wraps herself up in her bed under my desk and is just like, buenas noches.
Oh, she loves it. She loves having you there just with her. She just likes to be in your presence. She doesn't care what you two are up to.
And I just
to
tickle
be
her
the sweet
little
pea.
head.
Oh,
So sweet. Yes.
Anyway, so it's only a few more days. Not long to go. It's the final push. You're all exhausted.
We are.
But you just get through those 2 weeks of study and then you've got holidays.
I know.
It's all good.
Oh my gosh, lots to do then.
Well, you better get to bed, Sweetie Pie.
Absolutely.
And I shall speak to you next week.
You sleep well, and I will speak to you next week as well.
Night, Sweet Pea.
Nighty night, Mummy Bear.